Hi, this is Bonnie Barker with BonnieBayCrochet.com, and today in this video we're going to show you how to make the Morning Starburst dishcloth. This is part of a set that is a free pattern from Knit Picks. It's called the Morning Sunburst Kitchen Set, which also has a coffee cozy, which I already have a video available for that. We're going to make the dishcloth today, and then later on we're going to get to the dish towel in a later video. So let's go ahead and get our materials together. Okay, for this project you're going to need 3 colors. I'm going to be using the Knit Picks Shine Sport. This is a sport weight yarn, which would be a number 2. Each of these has 110 yards, but obviously you're not going to need all 110 yards of every color. So if you have scraps around the house that are the thinner cotton variety, feel free to use those instead. Okay, I'm also recommending that you have a size G crochet hook, which is also a 4.00 millimeter, and a pair of scissors handy, as well as a yarn needle for threading the loose ends once we finish. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, starting with our main color, we're going to start with a slip knot. And then we are going to chain 42. Now we're just going to use a regular chain for this project. I'm going to go ahead and chain my 42 chains. Okay, now that I've completed my 42 chains, we are going to begin row 1 by working a single crochet in the second, let me go ahead and show that to you, a second chain from hook. So we don't use the first one, but the second chain, we go ahead and work our single crochet. Now we're going to skip 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and in the next chain, which is the 4th chain, we are going to work 9 double crochets in that same space. So go ahead and do that. I'm just working in 1 loop of the chain. Feel free to do this however you like. If you like working in the back bump, you are free to do that. I prefer working in the side of the chain. It just seems easier, especially if we're gonna, cover the rest of the foundation chain later. So let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're going to skip the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to single crochet in the next stitch. So we're going to single crochet in that 4th stitch. And so we've made the first shell. Okay, so we're going to repeat that all the way across these chains. We're going to skip 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And in the next chain, we're going to work 9 double crochets again. Okay, that would be 7, 8, 9. We're going to skip the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then single crochet in the next stitch. So let's show you what we have after 2 repeats. So we're going to repeat this all the way across the row. We're going to be skipping the next 3. 1, 2, 3. And then again working 9 double crochets in the next stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and finish out this row, and I will show you how the row ends. This row ends by skipping the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and a single crochet in that last space. Okay, now we're ready. Excuse me. Now we're ready to begin row number 2. We're going to go ahead and turn. We're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to work 4 double crochets together over the next 4 stitches. And this is how this works. We're going to wrap the hook. We're going to prepare like we're making a double crochet, except we just yarn over and pull through 2 loops just once. We're going to do that 4 times. Each time I've held back that last loop, we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops. Then we yarn over and pull through all of the loops. Okay, Now after that, we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet in the next stitch, which should be the 5th double crochet of this shell or this cluster. Okay, after we do that single crochet, we're going to chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is where it gets interesting. We're going to work 9 double crochets together over the 9 stitches. These stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would be that single crochet, 6, 7, 8, 9. All of those stitches we are going to work 9 double crochets together, just like we did here with the 4. I'll go ahead and do this one with you. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, and notice how I'm holding a loop, that last loop back for each of these. 4, 5 should be, the 5th one should be that single crochet. 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I should have 10 loops on my hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There should be always one more than how many double crochets you're crocheting together. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through all of the loops. Okay, let's go ahead and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to single crochet in the next stitch, which is right here at the top. Should be the 5th double crochet of that cluster, and we're going to do it again. We're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then crochet 9 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you want to count the loops, you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yarn over and pull it through carefully, all of the loops. Now if your hook is not pulling through the loops as carefully or as easily as you just saw me do, maybe you need to look into a better shaped crochet hook. I really like the Susan Bates. I promise this is not a paid endorsement. This is just a lifelong love affair with a hook that really works well. Another thing is sometimes the yarn that you're using may be a little, I don't know, scraggly, maybe a lower quality, or you just may have to be real careful and pull through a couple at a time. Okay, so we're going to do that all the way across the row. We're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet in that next stitch, and then we're going to do 9 together again over this section, a single crochet, and with chain 4s in between. So we're going to go ahead and finish that all the way across. I will show you how to finish the end. So go ahead and repeat this section 2 more times. Okay, after working all the way across the row, let's work the last section together, and that is to double crochet 5 stitches together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yarn over and pull through all 6 loops on the hook. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn, and we're going to work 4 double crochets in this first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the pattern does say to skip the next 4 chains, but I think that's an error in the pattern, so we're going to ignore that, and we're going to make a single crochet in the next stitch right here. So just single crochet in the next stitch, just like that. Okay, now we're going to skip the next chain 4, and we're going to work 9 double crochets in that center, right like that. It's a lot of double crochets for this pattern. Make sure we go through all of the threads there. Okay, let's double check to see how many double crochets we've made. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we're good. Now we're going to skip the next. We're going to, I guess, skip the next stitch here. We're going to go in and single crochet in that next single crochet. We're going to skip the next chain 4, and we're going to work 9 double crochets again in that center stitch. Okay, so now that I finished those 9 stitches, we are going to go ahead and single crochet in that next single crochet. And we're going to do that all the way across. We're just skipping the chain 4, 9 stitches in that center hole right there. Then we're going to skip the next chain and then single crochet in that next space. So go ahead and do that, and I will show you how to end the row. We're going to end the row after we've worked this all the way across by working 5 double crochets in the last stitch, which is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is what you should have after 3 rows. Okay, now we're ready for row number 4. We're going to chain 1, turn, we're going to single crochet in the first stitch, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to work 9 double crochets together over the next 9 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and again 5 should be that single crochet. 6, 7, 8, 9. This is very much like row 2. Pull them all through, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and single crochet in the next stitch. So this is what we're going to do all the way across. I'll do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, and then double crochet 9 stitches together, or 9 double crochets together. 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th stitch in that single crochet, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Yarn over and pull through all 10 loops on the hook. Okay, so go ahead and finish out the row, and I'll show you how to end this. For the last repeat, we will chain 4 and we'll single crochet in that last stitch. Just like that, this is the same stitch in which you had worked one of the 9 double crocheted together in. Okay, so now we're ready for row number 5. Okay, now we're ready to switch a color. So I'm going to back up a little bit on that single crochet. I'm going to back it out, and I'm going to do it again, but I am not going to complete the stitch. I'm going to get my white color, or if you're using different colors, it would be maybe contrasting color number 1. And I'm going to pull this through, completing that single crochet using the white. Now before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and trim this up, and I'm going to tie just a simple knot by tying these together. Pull it through, and then just make sure to slide that. If you pull gently, you can control where the knot is, which will be right along the side, which will be very easy to hide in this fabric when we're finished with this project. Okay, so now we're ready to go on to number 5. We've switched our colors. We're going to chain 1, turn, and we are going to work a single crochet in the first stitch. We're going to skip the chain 4, and we're going to work 9 double crochets in the center here. Just like we did 2 rows before. So I'll go ahead and finish these 9 double crochets. After finishing the 9 double crochets, we're going to skip the next chain 4, and we're going to single crochet in the single crochet, just like that. Okay, we're going to skip the next chain 4, and we're going to do 9 double crochets in that space, just like we've been doing. So go ahead and finish this all the way across the row. I will show you the ending and the color change at the end of this row. Okay, so we've worked this all the way across, and we're going to do a color change on this last single crochet. So we bring our single crochet up to that point, but we don't complete it until we take our contrasting number 2 color and we pull it through, just like that. Okay, now just like we did the beginning of the last row, we're going to go ahead and take care of this yarn by cutting it, and we're going to go ahead and tie a small knot. Okay, and I'm going to slide it down by the end. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, now we are ready to do rows 6 and 7, and for rows 6 and 7 it says to repeat rows 2 and 3. So we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, turn. We're going to work 4 double crochets together. Now notice when I start this, I'm not working in the single crochet. I just start out by working on the double crochets. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over and pull through all 5 loops. Now we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to work a single crochet in that next stitch. Chain 4 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to work 9 together, and you've seen that before. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this all the way across the row, working 9 stitches or 9 double crochets together, chaining 4. Well, I'll go ahead and finish the first one here. I always try to strike a balance between teaching too much and too little, because if I do it too much over and over again, I don't want to bore you to tears, but at the same time I don't want to leave you hanging not knowing what to do. So I'm going to err on the side of teaching a little bit too much at the moment. So we're going to go ahead and pull through those 10 loops, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet in the next stitch, and you're going to do that again all the way across. That's doing the 9 stitches, chaining 4, single crochet, then we will chain 4, 9 crocheted together, double crochets together, chain 4, and then single crochet. So go ahead and do that. We end this row with a chain 4 and work 5 stitches together. That last one being right there in that single crochet. Yarn over and pull through all the loops. Okay, so now we're ready to repeat row 3. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to work 4 double crochets in the first stitch. 1, 2, 3, sorry about that, and 4. Okay, now we're going to single crochet in that single crochet, and now we're going to work 9 double, well, let me go ahead and back up. We're going to skip the next chain 4, We're going to work 9 double crochets right here. Okay, now that we've worked the 9 double crochets in that space, I'm going to skip the chain 4 and single crochet in that next stitch. And we're going to work this all the way across, working the 9 double crochets in the stitch there, skipping the chain 4, single crochet in the single crochet, skip chain 4, then 9 double crochets in the stitch right there. So go ahead and finish that across the row. So we work this all the way across till we get to the last part. We're going to skip that chain 4 and we're going to work 5 double crochets in that last stitch. Okay, now as we get ready to do the last finishing of that 5th stitch, I'm going to hold back because it's time for another color change. Now before we finish this stitch, this is the last or the 5th double crochet, we are going to pull that white yarn through for the last part of that stitch. And let's go ahead and do our duty and take care of this stitch here. Let's see if we can get the strings lined up. Okay, just like that. Get our scissors, cut the yarn, go ahead and tie a knot, joining those 2 colors together. We're going to hide these at the end. It doesn't have to be super tight, just a little taut there. Okay, so now we are ready to go on. This is going to be row 8. We have switched to contrasting color 1, and now it says to repeat row 4, which is going to be a chain 1, turn, single crochet in the first stitch. Now we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you know what to do next. We're going to be working 9 double crochets together. So I'm just going to do the first one, and this is what you're going to do all the way across, the chain 4, and then work 9 double crochets together. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and go ahead, yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then single crochet in the next stitch. So go ahead and do that all the way across. Okay, we end this row by chaining 4 and then working a single crochet in that last stitch, which is the same stitch we worked one of the 9 double crochets together in. Okay, so now after finishing row 8, which is a repeat of row 4, we're going to now repeat going back. I'm going to go ahead and back this out. Let's go ahead and do this stitch again, because we're going to change colors back to the main color, which is the platinum color. I'm going to pull that color through and do another color change. Get these strands worked together. Find my scissors and go ahead and tie another knot. Okay, so this is going to be what we're going to do now. We're going to do row 9, which is going to be a repeat of row 5. I'm going to go ahead and start that for you now. I'm going to chain 1, turn, single crochet in the first stitch. I'm going to skip the next chain 4, and we're going to work 9 double crochets in that stitch there. After working the 9 double crochets, we're going to skip the chain 4 and single crochet in that next single crochet, skip the chain 4, and then again go on to do 9 double crochet. So this is how you're going to do row 5 all the way across. After working this all the way across, we just simply work a single crochet in that last stitch. Now there are no more color changes for the remainder of this project, so let me give you some instructions. What we're going to do now is work rows 10 through 18 just using the main color, which is the platinum, and you're going to repeat rows 2 through 5 2 more times, and then repeat row 2 once more, and then chain 1. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you on the screen. If you just look at the bottom of the screen, I'll give you the time signature where you can go back in this video to begin row 2 again should you need the crochet support. If you don't, just go ahead and you can crochet without watching the video, certainly perhaps at this point. And then after that, again, repeat row number 2. I will show you that repeat of the last row and then the finishing after you complete rows 10 through 18. After completing row 18, this is what your washcloth should look like, or the dishcloth rather. Okay, I've gone ahead and I've chained 1. I'm going to turn, and now I'm going to work 3 stitches in the same space right here at the top. 1, 2, 3. That's going to serve as a corner later on. Now the instructions say to work 40 single crochets evenly all across. Okay, there are a couple of strategies that you can use. One that I like to use is to pick the center, which is right here. So from this point to this point, you could work 20 stitches evenly. Now we can even break it down further. Let's see if we can do that. And it'd be kind of hard to do. I was thinking if we could find the halfway point here, we could go 10 stitches, but I don't really think that's going to be easy. So let's just say from this point to this point, we're going to try to work 20 stitches evenly. Now, if you want to use a stitch marker, let me go grab one of those. Okay, now that I've added a stitch marker, that might help a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and try to work 20 stitches evenly. And I'm going to go ahead and work this with the camera running, because this is always a kind of a trial and error process. But I just want you to see that if you find it a little tricky, when there's a reason for that, it's usually a tricky thing to do. And it's okay if you have to pull stitches out and try again to get it right. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and notice I am just working over the chain instead of working in the individual stitches. Let's just stop and take a look and see how this looks. I have 10 stitches from here to here, and that looks about right. Okay, so let's just keep going and see if we can get this all the way across. So that was 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. I'm going to just go with that. So I'm going to I'm going to move that marker just down to there so I can still work in the stitch. And I'm going to leave it in because it's going to be a reference point for me as I go across to the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and start over. Instead of counting to 40, I'm going to start over and count to 20 again. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's take a look. That's about halfway. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So that's going to be our 40 stitches. Okay. Now it is, and then the corner is right here. So we are just, in this next stitch, we're going to work our 3 stitches for the corner. 1, 2, 3, excuse me. And then we're going to turn 90 degrees and we're going to do that again. We're going to do this over all the sides. We're going to work 40 stitches evenly across. And again, I would recommend using the stitch marker. I'm going to go ahead and I'll just start this one a little bit. And if you're not sure where the center is, go ahead and fold it. And the center, I guess the center is pretty obvious. It's right here, but I just wanted to fold it to verify. So that's where I can put maybe the 21st stitch or the 20th. It really doesn't matter as long as it looks even. And that's the other thing. You want to make sure that the stitches look decent, that they look even, and that looks and feels like it's going to be fine. Well, I'm going to go ahead and work my 40 stitches evenly across this side. Then I will make a 3 single crochet cluster in the corner and then just continue all the way around. And then I will show you the join of this round and the final round. After finishing that perimeter round by working 40 single crochets spaced evenly along each edge and 3 single crochets in each corner, we're going to join with a slip stitch to the first stitch of this round, chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch where we just joined. Now this is going to be our corner. It's the center single crochet of those 3 single crochet cluster. So just put 3 single crochets in that spot and that will be our corner. Now we have 1 stitch here and then 1 stitch in the other corner. So that's going to make 42 stitches all the way across. So we're going to go ahead and single crochet. It's going to be a lot easier this round because we're not having to space them out. So we're going to single crochet 42 stitches all the way across. So after working those 42 single crochets all the way across, that brings us to the center single crochet, and I'm just going to put 3 single crochets in there, and I'm just going to continue working along the other side. I'm going to do this along each side and then I will show you the final join. After working that last single crochet, we join with a slip stitch to the first stitch of the round, give it a chain, give it a tug, cut a nice strand at least 4 to 5 inches long so that would be easy to hide. And so now we have effectively finished crocheting the washcloth, but we do have some work to do. We have a lot of threads to hide, especially with all these lovely color changes. I'm just going to show you using one strand just how to easily hide these stitches with our yarn needle. And we thread the yarn needle, and I am going to hide them all on this side. I'm just picking a side. You can decide which side you want to be the front or the back. I really don't think it's going to matter once we hide these strands because I think it is going to be kind of reversible, but we want to make sure that we hide these as carefully as we can. So I'm going to just run these under the stitches as best I can. You want to do this in a way so that the strands will not pop out again, and you don't want to have those showing. So I'm going to run it under quite a few of these strands, maybe a couple inches worth. It's a little bit tricky because these are smaller stitches and these yarn needles can be a little on the thicker side. If you find that it's hard to get the eye of the needle through these stitches, you can always go to one of the metal thinner upholstery style needles, and that might be helpful. And then after that, we're going to give the strand a little clip very carefully because we don't want to clip our stitches. and that should do it for that one stitch, or rather for that one thread. Now I've got several more to do, and as I hide these, I'm going to purpose to, for example, hide the white under the white stitches, the gray under the gray stitches. If it's impossible for you to do that, just do the best you can with this. Like for example, this might be showing a little bit, but that's really not going to be a problem. So anyway, this completes the Morning Sunburst dishcloth. Stay tuned to this Bonnie Bay Crochet channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit that little red subscribe button so you won't miss any more videos coming your way. I will be having the matching towel with this coming your way soon. God bless. Bye-bye.